Okay, welcome to part 3. If you're tuning in first to this part, you should go back to the first 18 slides and then the part 2, and now we're at part 3. So we're in the middle of talking about Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment website data that's available to learn about your health problem. And this slide shows you that they have a health disparities map. And I just want to say that this is a slide that's a few years old, so I'm not sure it's going to look exactly like this on the website anymore. But I am pretty certain that equivalent information is available. So this slide shows you available statistics at the county and racial ethnic levels. This one shows you that there are Colorado regional health profiles that are available on the website. This shows you there are maps showing poverty at the county level. So you can see the counties with the darkest colors have the most people living in poverty. That would be Saguache, Crowley, and I can't read it. It's Bent or something like that, out in southeastern Colorado. Here's percentages of students who graduated high school. This is kind of old, 2008. I guess maybe this slide is a little more than a couple of years old, but I'm pretty sure the equivalent information would be there, and you can see that the lowest graduation rates are in the southeastern portion of Colorado in Los Animas and Baca counties. This looks like San Juan County also has a low rate. Here we have percentage of adults with health insurance. You can see the counties where there's lower levels of health insurance. Eagle County is, I believe, where Vail is, which maybe seems a little bit surprising since Vail is a very wealthy place, but there's a whole bunch of workers that work at the ski resorts and they don't get health insurance, or at least when this data was collected they didn't. Here we have percentage of overweight adults, so you can see where the obesity levels are highest within the state. Here we have female breast cancer. Highest rates are in a lot in the metro area. Douglas County, Teller County, Summit County. I guess that's not really the metro area. Douglas County is partly in the metro area. Heart disease. And then you can get local data from the BRFSS, if you haven't heard of that. That is the Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance Survey or study. I always forget. It's a data collection that's funded by CDC. It's mostly operated by states, but I believe every state in the country participates. And you can go to the CDC website, which is where this particular slide was taken, and you can get BRFSS data through the CDC website. And I forgot what I was going to say about that. Oh, BRFSS contains a lot of information about behavior. It's called behavioral risk factors. So it'll potentially, depending on the year, I don't know, I think they rotate topics in and out, but you can get tobacco use data, you can get dietary behavior, you can get sun protection behavior, you can get a lot of different behavioral information through the BRFSS. So I'd encourage you to take a look. This is just showing you again a page from the CDC website where you can get information from the behavioral risk factor surveillance. Oh, it's system. It's not survey or study. It's system. Again, these slides are a few years old, so it probably looks a little different now, but that information should all be there. On the CDC website, there are also other surveys that could be potentially really helpful. There's the National Health Interview Survey, which also collects a lot of data about health behaviors, but you can't really isolate particular states through that. It's just not set up with the kind of sample size at the state level that you can do that. But the BRFSS is designed to collect data that's meaningful at the state level. And in Colorado, it's meaningful at county levels too, although some counties have small populations. This is an example of a slide generated from the BRFSS. Now, I want to make a point here that you should not wear yourself out at this point. You could go on and describe your health problem and spend the whole semester describing your health problem. I've limited this section to 1 to 3 pages, and, well, it's actually not limited. You could spend 20 of your 25 pages on this if you wanted, but I wouldn't recommend that. I've recommended, I believe, 2 to 3 pages for this, and you might find it difficult to even get it into 2 to 3 pages. But you need to have the main points for this epidemiological assessment that you're going to do, but you don't need to have every last statistic. Just think, what's the most important thing to know? It's how high is this how big is this health problem in my population? And you need to be able to provide credible statistics that it's an important problem in your population, but you don't need every last piece of information related to that. And I have a note here to look at the student examples on Canvas to get an idea of the scope that you should put into this particular part of your paper. Keep in mind that only the program plan that's about African American youth and mental health was done under the current page restrictions. So if you look at the other examples, they're probably going to have more detail and more pages devoted to it than you should really be doing. We made it through. So here is your reminder about what you should be reading for next Tuesday. You should be working on questions 3 through 5 and bring draft responses of 1 to 5 to share with your group on February 9th. Now, we said in class, and I'll reiterate here, I don't think you're going to have time to really do a complete draft of questions 4 and 5, but I would recommend that you prepare an outline of what you would put into questions 4 and 5, and maybe some notes about where you think you'll go to get data so you can get feedback from your group on those questions. But again, I don't think you're going to have time to really fully draft questions 4 and 5 before Tuesday. And don't forget to send your drafts. I think you've all set up, or at least 4 of the 5 groups have set up Canvas discussion groups for this to make sure that your group members have your drafts so that they can look at them before class on February 9th. And I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.